My name's Ilsa Parry. I run a business called REthinkthings, which is a range of products that I'm trying to bring to market independently. And I also work under my own name as a 3D creative practitioner. The work ranges from a music production company I've got down in London who want me to co-compose some music for licensing to TV and film. So that's actually about how you can think about music in a different way. And another client I've got, for example, McDonald's, I did some lighting concepts for them. So it ranges really broadly. The feedback that I've had so far is that it's a talking point, a lot of the products. With the creative work that I've done, I think people are often surprised by how I turn things on their head and produce a different outcome that has some sort of benefit to it that they hadn't already thought of. I had the plan for the product range, but because I've been quite broad in my training, it hasn't necessarily been all to do with industrial manufacture of a certain type of product. It's been about a way of thinking. I've found that there are other markets out there that my skills are applicable to. So just through test marketing really in the initial stages of business, I've found different people that can make use of my skills. As a startup, I think it takes time to experiment till you find not only what you're enjoying the most, but what's actually bringing you the most money in. The hardest part of setting up in business was knowing what sort of value to place on the services that I offered, how I account for my time, what I should cost into, say, the products that I'm designing and producing. Because it's not just the materials and the packaging, it's how long have I spent developing the idea and the time that's taken. And sometimes it's difficult to accept what the market will bear, and you think, well, what I do is actually worth more because of the time that it's taken, but then you have to sort of sacrifice or modify the way that you're working to allow the services to sell. Constantly got right brain and left brain at war with each other. I like to be very much hands-on with the work that I do. I like to make a mess. I like to be very experimental. And often trying to retain that broadness and that experimental nature can hinder focus when it comes down to business. And I think for me, the key to balancing it is to actually structure it in some way, in a way that I can see it. So for me, that's writing things down and then reorganising them and rejigging them and almost creating a visual system that I can work around and can be adapted to how my work needs change over time. In order to make a living from what you believe in, you have to adapt it and be realistic, because it's one thing to have a dream and to have an ideology, but if it's not practical for people, then you've got to question whether that ideology is the same one that everybody else has. And if it's not, then you're doing something wrong as a creative person because the value's not there. I think it can, if you don't adapt your way of thinking to what people actually need in order for you to make a profit from it, then you can actually be seen as quite arrogant. I think that sometimes you have to take that step back and reassess where is the value in what you're doing.